I've been very inspired by a recent podcast a dear friend Kerry introduced me to, and it's called the Green Bean Podcast, and there's just 5 videos on YouTube. And the other day when I was sewing, I had them playing, and they just kept me company in the most beautiful and gentle way. So I just wanted to say hello and share with you some of the sewing projects I've been doing, because that was one of the things that delighted me about sort of meeting Kelly Green Bean, was that she's this lovely lady who lives in England, and she's written an incredibly thick, incredible book with all of her drawings in it. And so I just was delighted to meet her virtually, and she shared her knitting projects, sewing projects, her illustrating projects, and she's making a zine, which she's done in previous times and coming back around to it. And I just loved how she was combining many of the things that I love as well. And I thought, how many other of us creatives are out there sort of in our little places, our studios, our kitchens and dining rooms, and we have so much more in common than we realise sometimes. So I wanted to share with you some of the sewing little pieces that I've been doing this last week or two that have really delighted me. First of all, a long time ago I was introduced to India Flint, and I heard her speak, and she's all about natural fabrics and plant dyes and all that kind of thing, and she carries around a little cauldron, and she puts things like nails and copper and all the different metals, and so she's done a lot of study and research and knows what colours she's going to get by adding different foliage with the different metals. So I haven't really adventured into that land as such, but I'm quite curious about it. For me, I think that my favourite would be the indigo dyeing, because I love the blues. These earthy tones don't really work as well with my skin, and I'm not drawn to wearing them, so I suppose that's one of the reasons why I don't pursue that natural dyeing as much. And so then recently, through our local council, there was a beautiful talk by a lady called Jane Milburn, and this is her book that I was inspired to buy on the day, so that you have something to bring home. It's always nice. So I brought her book, and one of the things that really got me was, and she showed us the actual one, was a denim pinafore dress. And on the day she said, Denise, I've got a spare sheet if you want to cut out a pattern for the pinafore. So this kind of shape here, I was so thrilled. A lady that I met on the day, we doubled over the sheet and cut out the pattern right away. And as soon as I came home, all I kept thinking about, when can I get out to the op shop to buy some jeans? And it was a Sunday, so I had to wait. But then I went and found a whole bunch, and so this is what happened after. So 2 pairs of jeans, one kind of large plain black pair and one with a little bit of a line pattern through it. And so then I've cut them all up and stitched them in different ways. So I've got a hole here at the front. So I was wanting to put some sort of little feature pop of colour maybe in there. And then this is kind of what's going to be the back, but I quite like it as the front. Because the pattern is, you've cut the same piece for the front and the back, you pretty much can wear them either way. You know, you can turn them around. So that's a cute little piece of pocket detail, and another little space that I want to fill. So what I might do is use a cushion that I've cut up, actually. I've cut this lovely cushion, and then I've added some other material to make a sort of a big, like a pencil case, and I'm putting in there all the scraps of denim and bits and pieces, so I can sort of find them and they don't run all around the place, and they might be used some other time. And another couple of things, I got a bit disappointed-ish by the pinafore being very bulky and kind of heavy and stiff. So I'm sort of coming around to that. I think there'll just be some occasions where it will really work when I'll enjoy having all the pockets and it's a bit tough and it's not precious. I'll be able to sit down on rough surfaces or whatever, you know, with that thick denim feeling. But for the most part, I really enjoy being comfortable in my clothing. So I'm going to keep an eye out maybe for some softer jeans and maybe do another one, but with an awareness of the fabric thickness. For example, I had this old skirt. I'll show you that. So it was only this long. I mean, I jokingly kind of thought it like a belt. I would always wear leggings under it and I'd only wear it at home. But I love it, you know, because of its fun patchworky thing. So I went to the op shop again and found outside hanging a pair of jeans for $1. And that's the pocket of the front of the jeans. And so they were quite more soft. So they were more in keeping with the same softness of the skirt. And then I've used a patch of the black to tie it in with what was already there. And then just added a portion all around the bottom. And what really, so yeah, I undid the hem and then overlocked this piece, stitched it all around and then sort of, so it landed quite sort of neatish. And what inspired the transformation of this skirt was finding this skirt just at the op shop. It's so funny, for years I've kind of gone to op shops and I've never really got the hang of it and I've never found just quite what I want. But now I've got more of an idea. I was looking at making a beeline for denim, so that made it easier. I would just go to the denim. And oftentimes they have denim outside on the street, just sort of selling jeans for $1 or $2. So that's really great if you're thinking of cutting them all up. It's not an expensive outlay. So this one I found and loved it exactly as it was. It was the perfect length and perfect fit. It was actually a big size, but it just fits really nice. I can wear leggings under it. And so then I used that as a template for the shape. You know, I didn't have to think as hard because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and if I'm trying to work it out without any other pattern, I just can take too long and drive myself a little mad. So then I remembered I had another little brown denim skirt that I had dyed a long time ago. It was just a little sad old skirt. And so I dyed it and it came out this kind of funny brown, which I don't mind. It's sort of, I was aiming for chocolate and I didn't get chocolate. I got faded out fudge kind of thing. But I thought, all right, what can I do? And so with the same $1 pair of jeans, another piece of them, I cut off, no actually, I'll tell a lie, this might have been with another pair. I bought another pair. But what I've done is just cut up the front, added a triangle in, a long skinny triangle. I've popped a little one in the waistband because the skirt was a tiny bit tight, and so I wanted to make it more comfy. Put another one at the back, so that gave me the flared out same kind of width as the one that I bought. And it also then showed me what length to make it. So I just cut a big strip around and popped that on. So now I have two new skirts to wear that they just feel fun because I've done the work on them. And one of the other things that delights me about India Flint and Jane's books is they show you ideas for stitching, you know, for embellishing. I might find some later. I've got to go to an appointment soon, but I just wanted to make this little video as I was kind of excited to share these little bits and pieces. And one more, a friend of mine when I shared a bit of my sewing and a picture of me with my sewing machine, she said she'd been doing a similar thing, and I said, please show me. And she showed a picture of the arm of a jumper with two very thin pieces of Japanese fabric stitched on. So it was just a slither. And I have another piece of clothing that I'm trying to adjust and make it so I'll wear it. And so I had a couple of little pieces of Japanese-like fabric I'd put in the bin. And after I saw what she'd done, so this is just a simple black double layer short dress thing that I just tunic, like I just wear it with leggings. And I just sewed on these two little pieces. Don't know if you can see them all that well. Right there. Oh, sorry. So they land kind of, show you, just sort of about on the leg. So when you can see them because they're on your leg, kind of thing. And so that just made me feel happy, just to do little things with your sewing, and so you could hand stitch many of them if you didn't have a sewing machine. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. And another thing I was inspired by, I love it when you go to workshops and you get inspired by what other people have got. So I found this tin that I had away in the cupboard. So I've started collecting this kind of, I think it's crochet cotton, and so it can be quite good for stitching. And this is one of the things that was in Jane's book. And it's a little piece of denim, and you make a little book-like thing for your needles and pins. And inside the cover it can have a couple of pockets. And so I've popped it over. So I did that in front of the TV last night, doing a little bit of stitching. It just felt so great to do stitching. So this central one was a picture in India Flint's book that I thought was so pretty. And then I did daisy stitches around the edge. So that's sort of something yummy. And then you could pop a little wee pair of scissors in there, and so then if you want to go to a little sewing group, or then you can just sort of take quite a small thing with you and do stitching, embellishing stitching. So that's what I think could be fun for me to practice on one of those denim skirts, is to do a bit of stitching and see how I can, it's almost like you'll get your own mark making, like you might do with drawing. There'll be some stitches and stuff that just work more easily, and what you enjoy making. So I'll be curious to see how I can do that, more of the stitching and stuff. Yeah, that's all for now. See you later. Bye.